Today is August 24th, 2024, Saturday morning, 11:20 a.m. Thinking where to start. Just trying to fix the camera angle a little bit. I'm sitting here in bed. This morning, I have my coffee here. It's a 7-Eleven coffee I got today. Kind of things went a little bit unplanned this morning. Saturday morning, usually I try to make tea, Indian tea. If you ever had Indian tea, it's you make it with loose leaf tea that you get at store. You can get them at Indian store from Amazon. And I add ginger, cardamom, sugar, of course, and milk. And it becomes almost like latte, but of course the smell of tea instead of coffee. So I make that only on Saturdays. I always liked coffee somehow, even though I grew up in India and I came to this country in the United States when I was in 20s. But somehow, ever since I tasted coffee, which was, I don't know, when I was 16, 17, I think I first tasted. But in India, I used to drink less of coffee because, it's less available, and then it was mostly instant coffee. But for a very long time now, generally speaking, I think I like coffee more. So during the week, pretty much every day I drink coffee, but Saturday it's a special thing. I try to make tea in the morning. And so this morning, Alice was having a little challenging time. Eventually she wanted to get there's a thing called a Slurpee, I think. They have it in 7-Eleven, so we ended up going there. So I got my coffee, or she got her cold Slurpee. Sorry, I have a little cough. I am trying to avoid to go to the urgent care. It's not too bad. I don't know. I mean, I could go, but since it's not too bad, I'm kind of postponing it. I'll see if I really have to go. Maybe next week I'll go. I don't know. So this morning, I did want to talk about one interesting thing, like the presence of God. And again, if you believe in God, this might resonate with you. We're having a little challenging time with Alice, and I won't go into the full details, but right then and there, a friend of mine, she's actually a friend's friend, I haven't met her in person yet, and this is the group that I was saying in the recent weeks. If you have seen my videos in the recent weeks, I join their prayer group sometimes, and so right then and there, she texted me. She asked, "Hi Anju, how are you doing?" And when the situation was challenging, her text reminded me of God, that trusting God, praying for God, and I just started praying in my mind and really, really prayed hard that God, please help. And I would say within I don't know, 15-20 minutes, the situation got under control. Ella started feeling better. And I started feeling better too. Of course, as parents, we feel good when our kids feel good, right? So I thought, God shows God's presence through other people. And when we have unwavering faith, and it doesn't matter whichever God you believe in, I think anything, to my phone, anything that resonates with you, because in the end, they say it is that our subconscious, that is what is connecting with that God, the higher power, or the subconscious of that universe, and then making things happen. And God is in us and we are in God. It's believing. It's almost like when we have this unconditional love for our kids, and unconditional love that my mom has for me and I have for her, is that same unconditional faith and belief that we need to have for God. And that is when the miracles happen. It's like, it's a little miracle, but is that the belief. A lot of time, it's like they said the seeing is believing. So for us as human being, we are more used to believe when we see things, right? I mean, if I say that, okay, there is a eyeglass I have right there, you won't completely believe in me because you're not seeing it. But what if I show you that, okay, here's the eyeglass and it's here? Now it's easy to believe, right? Because you saw it. But faith kind of works a little opposite. You have to believe it's there, and then it shows up. And same thing with the manifesting things in our life, right? Think of stories that you have heard from, I don't know, from your family members or friends, and where something seemed impossible, literally impossible, and it happened. I can guarantee that you have heard at least one story in your life. And you don't have to necessarily believe in God to think that it was, the miracle came to be from God's grace or from universe or something else. Just knowing that was something that regular explanation can't really tell us that how that miracle happened, right? So there is always this unknown, the unknown force that we have in our lives, that everything is frequency, everything is energy. And as hard as it may be through our conscious mind, we have to feed the good. So when we're having little challenges, I reminded Alice of that the bad side and the good side in our mind, we always have those two. Everybody has it. And so when we were having a challenging time and we were trying to make things work, I was telling her that, see, right now we are all feeding this. It's the same thing with any religion that you believe in. But we gotta water the good seed. We gotta water the good seed for good to happen. And remembering that as parent, especially in a challenging time, is not easy, right? We all know that. But if we want our kids to learn that, to do that, we need to be able to do that. And we won't be perfect, but for whenever we can, we have to pat ourselves on the back, especially if there's nobody else who is patting ourselves on the back. We got to do it for ourselves, because then we would remember to do it more in the future. And that's how we transform ourselves to be a better person, and then we are able to teach our kids. Last night, you have seen my video, I went to the gym on Friday evening. I haven't done that probably, I don't know, like I was saying, when I was in 20s, because Friday evenings we did other things, but recently things are different. So anyway, I went to the gym, and after that I went to an Indian restaurant. I don't always go there because sometimes I cook Indian food at home, and even though I'm Indian, I like the variety. So when I make food at home, I cook all different kinds of things like tacos and pasta. And Alice is not very big into Indian food, so I cook Chinese and I don't know, many other things. I cook steak, whereas because if you're a born Hindu, which I am, sometime because Hinduism has a very strict rule of not eating beef. So some Indian people would frown upon, and not all, but some. I can say it because when I went for a trip in India, it did happen. So I'm telling from experience. Anyway, but that's where, like, I don't know, I kind of consider myself as a global citizen now, how they say, not completely tying into Indian or American, but like how this is a statement that Dalai Lama said, we are 1 in 8 billion, because now there are 8 billion people in the world. It used to say 7 billion, but that's what I try to remember. And I was reading this book a little bit before making the video today, and one of the chapter, this is the chapter I was reading, it is the chapter name is Loneliness, No Need for Introduction. That's what the chapter says. And it talks about how you can be alone at the same time, not feel lonely, because you feel the connectedness with the humanity. You feel the connectedness with all 8 billion people, because we are all human beings, and we are, when we pray, we can pray for all the other people, people we know, people we don't know. So we can feel the connectedness. At the same time, you can be in the middle of a crowd and you can still feel lonely. So that's what in that chapter it was talking about. And of course, there's two two ways they were talking about it. This is Dalai Lama, who is, of course, the spiritual leader of Buddhism, and this is Desmond Tutu, who's a spiritual leader in Christianity, and how it amazes me how they were friends, because Desmond Tutu died a couple of years ago, and this book is about Dalai Lama's 80th birthday, when both of them they met, and for a week they had some sort of like a, I don't know, like a convention type of thing where they both talked to each other, and they asked, they responded to the questions from the audience, and that kind of became this book called The Book of Joy. The Book of Joy. So yeah, it was interesting to hear from both perspectives, from both religion, how they were defining that. It amazes me sometimes thinking how religious fights sometimes can create war between countries, and whereas at the top of this religion, the spiritual leader, they can be friends, right? It's that I can hear that Alice is trying to say something, so I was trying to hear what she's saying. I was trying to hear what Alice is saying. Anyway, so yeah, normally I talk about progress, and I don't know, I think I'm making some progress over time, and trying to navigate life in so many ways, and find happiness in the little moments. At some point I might go to the gym again today. I like to listen to audiobooks when I go to the gym. So yesterday I was listening to the book How to Raise an Emotionally Intelligent Child, something like that. The book name is. It is written by John Gottman, and it was a good book. I still have quite a bit of portion of that book left, maybe like 4 or 5 hours left, and it's I think 7 hours book, audiobook. Probably I'll listen to that, and might do a little grocery, and I might read little books, because I think it's been a while I read the books that will help me to get in the zone more, because I do think I need to get more into that I don't know, creating the reality and law of attraction, those a little bit, because I do want to manifest a life that where I have the wisdom to navigate it a little better than I'm navigating now. I know it kind of sounds random, all of this sounds random, but that's the part of journaling, right? If you're journaling, I really, really encourage journaling, either if you don't feel comfortable doing public videos, to private or write it down. it brings about a lot of good things that we have hidden in ourselves too. And in the world we learn from things, but reading a book and listening, watching movies, or I don't know, TED Talk, but I can't remember where I read it. It's all of those are in us, but when we read it, when we listen to something that resonates with us, that part of ourself gets unlocked. So it's all about that. It's within us. It's unlocking that. And a lot of time we forget. Even after unlocking, we forget. So when we watch it again, when we read it again, it kind of reveals itself again. So there is a lot of good in us, like the subconscious, which tries to hold tight. Excuse me. And it's not our fault or anything, because this is the fear or the fight or flight. All of this has been going on for generations. The whole humanity, our ancestors, and we are passing those down to our future. But we all have the power to, instead of make it lower and make this bigger, the conscious mind, when we are aware, when we are living a fulfilling life, when we are doing things to water the good seeds to make it bigger, right? Because that feels good, and we want to feel good. And when we journal, it keeps reminding us of that. So for me, I keep coming back to these videos because I have some good friends and good support system, and I'm so grateful for that. But life gets busy. Everybody has their job and the kids and the family and other responsibilities, so you don't always have somebody, right? So we got to be self-sufficient in so many ways, and this is one way that you can feel like there is something that you are holding on to. You can hold on to, because that's how we human beings are. We want to hold on to something, right? Something steady, something that can be consistent. From Buddhism, I learned to feel grateful about the blue sky, the tree, Mother Earth, the air that we breathe in, the fresh air, the clean water that we drink, the food. There's so much to be grateful for. But we don't always remember those, right? We don't always remember those. So when we talk about our journaling, when there is so much that is going on, challenging in our lives, there are still little things. If you look around, you would find something little that you can be grateful for, something little. And journaling helps us to remember of those things, because our mind is like a magnet. Our mind will keep bringing us to that negative zone constantly. So you have to pull your mind back to the positive, and it just happens with practice. You just keep doing over and over and over, and then your mind will get trained to bring it over here, right? So I have started doing these videos. It's almost 3 months now. I started it on Memorial Day weekend, May 27th, and I have been doing it ever since. Today's August 24th. I hope I have the courage and strength and the resilience to continue doing that, because it also reminds me to be patient, to be kind, to be compassionate, because if not, all day, if I forget, I still remind myself to do the grounding technique when I'm making these videos. It reminds me to repeat my mantra at least once a day, and that does help, because each and every word that we think in our mind, if you consider your mind as your brain, each and every word we speak has an impact the world that we create, our outer world, is literally a reflection in the mirror. When I was listening to a video last night, I was just thinking literally in my mind that, you know, if you have a smile that you are looking at in the mirror, the smile comes back. That's what the outer world is reflecting, that smile. But if you have the anger and the resentment and all of those, that is what is literally a mirror, and that is what is getting reflected. So as hard as it is, even if life is challenging, you have to figure out a way to feel better. And to feel better, there are, thinking, change our thinking, or take a positive action. And a lot of time, thinking in itself is not easy to change. So we have to take some positive action, either going out for a walk, helping somebody who is in need, volunteering, or whatever that may be. When we do that, that'll make us feel better. And sometimes it may mean that you remove yourself from the situations that you know that over and over and over and over, no matter what you do, no matter what you try, it drags you down. Because, life is not perfect. There will be situations when you are doing all you can, but what you are getting is not what you're expecting. And some may say that, well, we need to change our expectation. You do that, but even then, it's just draining you out, and then you remove yourself from that situation. As hard as it may sound, sometimes that's what we gotta do, right? Because life is short, especially when you're in your midlife, which is this channel, Midlife Mindfulness. I'm in my 40s. I lived a lot already. Sometimes you gotta rethink things, and so anyway, I'm just gonna do a little grounding and intention setting, visualization. Just did it in my mind, and I accept and trust in God. Speak kind compassion towards love, harmony, joy, patience. I let go the things that no longer serve me. Present, kindness, forgive. Look for positive in all situations, and be strong and compassionate at the same time. And that's the hardest thing sometimes to balance, right? Especially as a woman. If you're watching this video, if you're a woman, if you're in a workplace or something, it could be hard as a woman, where you get underestimated. And it happens to some men as well. A lot of it is because I do give the grace that people haven't seen us in a certain position, because at my prior work, when I was working, in a whole team, I was the only woman, and a lot younger than many others, so my potential was not acknowledged. And even though I would prove things, and the credit was given to others, and then we faced those situations anyway. I don't want to go into that much, because they say also, when you want to manifest, you don't want to talk about what has been and what is, because that's what you'll attract. You want to focus on what you want, right? A harmonious job, a better life, whatever that is in your mind, that's what you have to focus on. So I started practicing more of that. So I don't want to talk much about that. Anyway, so I hope, I can keep my mind there. I see that Alice coming in here. Mom is making a little video, my morning journal. Oh, where are you? You gonna come up here? Oh, you still have a little chocolate in your... I love you, little. So I'm gonna finish the video, and
Can I please have my iPad?
on, let me finish the video and then I'll look for it. It's not here. It's not here. Okay, I'll look for it.
Okay.
Thank you. I'll be right there. So, yeah, I talked about, the grounding technique, being mindful, and talked about the mantra. And I'll get going, and maybe later in the day I'll make some more videos. I'll actually go to the gym and exercise, read some books, and I do plan on making more video later in the day. Okay, I hope you have a good weekend, and just do the things, like if you have seen my other video where I talk about above the line, below the line, which I learned from a meditation from Inside Timer. Somebody talked about it. Above the line things are that makes you happy. Do something this weekend. Maybe go out for a walk, meet a friend, say hi to a friend that you haven't said hi to in a long time. You never know, they're probably thinking for the same thing, but they're not just saying it. There's Alice. She's sitting on my chair, the chair that you guys usually see where I sit and make the videos. And I hope you have fun. And
can you show them?
yeah,
Vaseline.
Okay, I'll show Alice over there.
Vaseline. I'm holding Vaseline.
Okay, so well, I'll finish the video. Have a good rest of the day, and I will see you guys later today. And thank you again. Thank you for coming back and watching the videos, commenting and liking them. Your support means a lot, because it means like I have a different support system, that as I'm going through this time, you all are helping. Maybe someday when time comes I can share even more, but for now I'm making these videos also hoping that someday it will become somebody's survival guide. Okay, bye.